rivals Philadelphia in a battle of NL East heavyweights. Tonight, Atlanta looks to keep it rolling at home as the Astros come to town. Unseasonably cool temperatures have invaded Atlanta, along with some high winds as fans file into Turner Field for the first of a brief two-game series between the Atlanta Braves and the Houston Astros. And all season long, Atlanta Braves baseball on Peachtree TV and Fox Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price. And good evening, everybody. Along with Tom Glavine, I'm Joe Simpson. Glad you're with us tonight for this brief two-game homestand getting started tonight against the Houston Astros. And Tom, when the Braves have taken 4 out of 6 from the Phillies over the last 10 days, that's pretty exciting. But what a way to finish it yesterday. Yeah, yesterday was just a great ball game all the way around. We billed it, obviously, as a pitching matchup coming in, and it lived up to it. Both Huddy and Halladay were real good and took that late-inning home run by Dan Uggla to put the Braves on top. And Uggla's been pretty successful getting at the big home run late in the game, and he was again yesterday. And then Kimbrel did his thing in the ninth inning there, and back-to-back saves in the last 2 games of the series. So all the ingredients you want: good starting pitching, timely hitting, and the bullpen doing their thing again. If there was a downside to the weekend, it was the news on Chipper Jones, however, and the fact that he's got a slight meniscus tear. Yeah, that was the one unfortunate piece of news coming out of the weekend, and on the heels of Jason Hayward taking a couple of days off with his shoulder. Obviously, that's going to be a little bit of reason for concern for the Braves offensively, but hopefully Chipper's not going to be out too long. The news is hopeful that Jason will be in there tomorrow night, so hopefully they'll at least get one of those guys back soon, and we'll just keep our fingers crossed with Chipper that it's not anything longer than a couple days. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about a guy who's had some pretty good luck against the Houston Astros, and that's Tommy Hanson. He's been pitching great baseball all year long, especially here at Turner Field, and we'll talk about Big Red when we come back. Might be a good idea to pack a fleece when you come down. Temperatures expected to be in the 50s. But a good night all around for Atlanta as they try to improve on their homestand with Tommy Hanson on the mound. And Tommy Hanson's been pitching good since day one of the season.
Yeah, he really has, and he's a good guy to continue to go on here with this homestand. He's been good at home, he's been good at night, and he's been good against the Astros. So all those things hopefully will add up to a successful night here tonight. But I think most recently for him, he's been dominating. He's gotten back to commanding his fastball. It certainly has been complemented by that great curveball, and he's just been really tough of late.
Well, let's hope that continues against a ball club that's not playing too good right now, and that's the Houston ball club. They've lost 6 of their last 8, but they do have Brett Myers going to the mound, and he is a hard thrower. We'll see if the Braves can continue their good ways tonight. And Tommy and I'll be back with first pitch right after this. By Delta Airlines, by the Georgia Lottery, and by Hyundai. Welcome back to Turner Field. We get set for the first of 2 between the Braves and the Astros. Atlanta trying to improve on their May record where they are 10-4 for the month and try to keep it rolling, as we said, after taking 2 out of 3 from the Philadelphia Phillies. The Houston Astros are in town, having lost 6 out of 8. They're in 6th place in the Central Division with a 15-25 record. And here's Brad Mills' starting lineup tonight. They do run a lot. They don't walk a lot. They swing the bat. Michael Bourne will lead it off, followed by Clint Barmas, and then the praying mantis, Hunter Pence. Carlos Lee, the cleanup hitter, followed by Brett Wallace. Bill Hall is at second base. Matt Downs gets a start at third base tonight. The catcher is Humberto Quintero, and Brett Myers, the pitcher, a good hitting pitcher, bats ninth. And the Atlanta Braves take the field, and Tommy, for Tommy Hanson, his 9th start of the year.
Yeah, his 9th start of the year, 4-3 record with a 2.51 ERA. Pitched really well at night, 3-0 with a 1.40 ERA, so that bodes well here in Turner Field tonight. And 1-0 career against the Astros. Pitched well against the Astros, and 3 career starts as a .78 ERA against them. So, like you said, the Astros like to run. They don't like to walk, so guys do get on, hit their way on, and try to control the running game a little bit.
And you know, sometimes that's a problem for Tommy Hanson, so we'll see how that works out. Here's the defense for Atlanta tonight. Eric Hinsky moves over to play left field. McLaughlin center, Joe Mather in right. That's because Martin Prado moves into play third base for Chipper tonight. Then Gonzalez, Ugla, and Freeman, the other infielders. Brian McCann doing the catching for Hanson. As we said, a chilly night. Temperature 59 degrees, but a lot of wind. blowing across from left toward right field. Gusts up to 25 miles an hour. Overcast skies, a 30% chance of rain, but we've had some intermittent sunshine breaking through tonight here just prior to game time 2. Here are the umpires for this series. Brian O'Nora is behind the plate. Alfonso Marquez at first base. Ed Hickox at second. Ed Rapuano is the umpire at third, and he is the crew chief. Braves last year against the Astros took 5 out of the 6 games played between these two teams, and Atlanta 3-0, a sweep against them here at Turner Field.
I hate to say start a fire up here in the press box because I've seen it happen before.
Yeah.
But it's cold.
Yes, it is. Hopefully that wind will keep blowing across and not straight in, because then we're in real trouble. Michael Bourne leads it off, hitting .270. No homers, 9 RBIs, but he's hitting 4 straight, and a good idea to keep him off the bases. He's stolen 14 bases so far on the year, and the first pitch of the game is a strike. Tommy Hanson, 24 years old, 6'6", 220 out of Redlands, California. Michael Bourne, a former Philly, has found a home in Houston. Took a little off. Good pitch.
Nice change up there.
You mentioned his success against the Astros, and a lot of these guys have struggled against him. Bourne just 1 for 10 against him with 3 strikeouts.
Yeah, not a lot of guys with a ton of experience against him, but those who have faced him, like you say, nobody's really handled him very well in that lineup.
Clint Barmas on deck. Struck him out. Good start for Hanson.
That big 12-6 curveball looks good out of his hand because it's up, but Michael Bourne couldn't do anything with it, so Hanson off to a good start.
Clint Barmas stands in, playing shortstop. He's only hitting a .196, but that is improving. Takes high. He started the season on the disabled list after suffering a broken bone in his left hand during spring training, but he's hit in 8 of his last 11 games. They are not a terrific defensive ball club, the Astros, but Barmas has really helped out since he came back. He has not made an error. There's a strike to him. 2-1. Biggest news for the Astros, it was announced today that they have an agreement with their owner, Drayton McClain, to sell the team to a gentleman from Houston, Jim Crane. Contract has to be looked over by both sides, but the agreement is in place, subject to approval by the major league owners, which could come as early as the middle of the summer.
I wonder if he has a friend that likes hockey.
I'll get the number. Oh, just missed. Full count.
Try to put him away at that fastball away, and ooh. It's either a really good eye or he was just fooled and couldn't swing.
Fouls off the 3-2 pitch. Sun breaks through here at the ballpark. A little bright sunlight on Joe Mather out in right. And ball 4 to Barmas. Hanson's last start came against Washington during that series where the Braves were scuffling. He got no decision as the team lost on the 11th of May 7-3. He pitched into the 6th inning, gave up only 1 run. But the team lost that game 7-3.
Yeah, his last 4 starts have been really good. 3-0
good.
with a 1.4 ERA, and just really been dominating.
Hunter Pence, the batter. Just had a 15-game hitting streak snapped a couple of days ago, but he's 0 for his last 8. Good numbers. 2 for 9 in his career against Hansen with 4 strikeouts. To third, Prado tested right away. His only play to first base for the out, 2-down runner at second for Carlos Lee. There's Chipper in the dugout. Told me before the game, Tommy, that said his knee felt better today thanks to the cortisone injection, but he said it may be something that's just putting off the inevitable.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing with the cortisone shot. You'll get some relief right away, and you got to wait a couple of days and see if it lasts. And typically, if it doesn't, then you've got something wrong. So, next couple of days should tell a lot.
Here's a guy that's had a good week, Carlos Lee. He's hit in 9 straight games. And he collected his 2,000th hit this weekend.
Off R.A. Dickey. Got his first hit off a knuckleballer, too. Tom Candiotti, I think it was.
First base open. Brett Wallace on deck. Pretty good breaking ball. Didn't get the call. He got off to a horrible start. Had a bad month of April. Hit just 194, 2 homers. But trying to make up for it here in May. That one gets through McCann. And Barmas will wind up at third on what will probably be a wild pitch.
Yeah, this team has struggled offensively, like you said, but as of late, Carlos has picked it up a notch. Hunter Pence has been swinging it well lately. Wallace on deck's had it going a little bit. So there's some guys here in the middle of this lineup that you're going to have to pay attention to.
Yeah, they're 4th in team average and middle of the pack in runs scored.
It's strange in that ballpark.
2-1.
I don't think Carlos liked that call.
Looked for the breaking ball, didn't get it.
It's interesting. You talk about how they have a hard time scoring runs. They're 3rd in the league in hitting with runners in scoring position, but they're still struggling to score runs. So they mustn't be getting too many opportunities.
2-2 the count. Full count.
Eighth in the league in runs scored. Last in home runs.
Last in homers in that ballpark too.
Yeah, that's real surprising.
Payoff pitch. Breaking ball. Got a piece of it. Carlos Lee's out of Panama, and if he looks like a big guy, he is. His 13th year in the big league, 6'2", 265.
He's your prototypical presence in the cleanup spot.
Another 3-2 pitch. Hit hard down the line. Diving stop by Prado. From one knee. Got him. Ho-ho! Welcome back to third base, Martin. That saved a run.
Wow.
We're there for Houston in the top of the first. And here's the Braves lineup tonight for Freddie Gonzalez. Martin Prado will lead it off. Then McLeod, McCann, and Ugla, with Brian moved into the third spot. Hinske batting fifth, followed by Alex Gonzalez. The bottom third of the order, Freeman, Mather, and Hansen. And Brett Myers on the mound for Houston.
Making his ninth start of the year, 1-3 with a 5.01 ERA. 4-10 with 4 saves lifetime against the Braves. He's coming off a rough outing his last time out against Cincinnati. A little bit more of a control command kind of guy than he first was when he came up, where he was kind of tried to overpower everything. Relies a little bit more on his breaking stuff.
And as so often happens, guy makes a great play, and then he's named the player of the week.
Imagine that, right?
Our SunTrust solid performance. Martin Prado earning the player of the week award for those numbers.
He's made a bunch of good plays this week, or last week.
And has raised his average up just under 300. Line break back at Myers, and a good start for Prado this week.
Two-seam fastball caught too much of the plate. Martin hit it right back where it came from.
Boy, that just right over the top of his numbers. Martin was on base all week long for Nate McLeod, who's been in that 2 spot since Hayward got hurt. Nate up to 259. Bunt gets down. Wallace gets knocked down by Brett Myers, and everybody's safe. That'll be a base hit. Lack of communication there over who was going to take that pop-up.
Yeah, that's kind of that in-between bunt. And pitcher tries to get it if he can get there, and once you commit as a pitcher, it's awful hard to get out of the way.
Not the prettiest of bunts, but it'll go as a base hit, and Nate will take it, and that'll bring up Brian McCann. Hitting .291. Hasn't had a great homestand, 4 for 20, but still tough in these spots with runners in scoring position. And great numbers against Brett Myers.
Yeah, he's hit Myers well, and talked to him a little bit before the game. He said he feels good at the plate. He feels like he's had some good at-bats. He just hasn't had good results lately.
And that'll happen during the course of the year. Big curveball from Myers is in the dirt. Nice stop by Quintero. Brett Myers he's always a max effort guy to me, Tommy. I mean, he always was trying to throw the ball a little harder and hardest.
Yeah, his changeup was to try and throw the next pitch harder than he threw the last one. You know, the scouting reports on him now say he's gotten away from that a little bit and tries to command the ball and using a lot more breaking stuff than he was in the past.
Popped up, headed for the seats and out of play. Anything hit in the air from center field around toward left is just going to get knocked down. The wind might help something that's hit in the air to right. You can see the flag really starched, blowing across toward the right field pole. Line to right center. Hunter Pence is a good outfielder. Oh, and he fights the wind and tracks it down. Prado tags. Good base running by Martin. He'll move to third. There's some more of that good contact from McCann.
Yeah, Hunter Pence, like you said, a good outfielder, but he struggled tracking that ball, but stayed with it. Made a nice catch, and Martin Prado heads up base runner and advances to third. So first and third, 1 out for Ugla.
So let's see if Dan can continue his good hitting. What a day he had yesterday, including the home run, of course, but he scored all 3 of the Braves' runs. He had 2 hits, a walk, drove in the run with the homer. scored 3 times, and has had luck against Mr. Myers.
Yeah, he led off 3 times, scored 3 times. He should have been leading off tonight.
I'm sure he'd have been fine with it.
He's had a flair for the dramatics. 5 of his 7 home runs have been in the 7th inning or later, and yesterday was a big one.
Good hitters count. 2-0. 3-0. Hinske on deck. Now you mentioned that Myers' recent outings have been rough, and that last one included against Cincinnati. He's lost 2 straight starts, both to the Reds. He's just glad to be pitching against somebody else. Gave up 10 hits and 6 runs in 6 innings to Cincinnati his last time out. And there's ball 4 to Uggla. They're loaded for Hinske. The Diesel hitting .327 with 4 homers, 11 driven in. And by my count, has never faced Brett Myers before.
If he has, it wasn't in the notes. I was looking for it.
Eric has 1 career grand slam. Back-to-back curveballs to start him, and he doesn't get either one of them over. 2-0. Got off to a good start this year, did Myers, but there are the ugly curvy numbers on his last 4 starts. And his road ERA, 4.97. Not a whole lot different than his overall ERA of right at 5. 3 curveballs. That one's a strike.
Pretty gutsy 2-0 pitch with the bases loaded right there.
Another one. 2-2, trying like crazy to get a ground ball out of Hinske.
Well, I think that's where you're seeing the change in Brett Myers as a pitcher. I don't think there was a chance early on that he would have thrown a 2-0 curveball, much less 4 curveballs in a row to the same batter. He just had too much confidence in his fastball and felt too good about it, but not throwing as hard as he used to, so you've got to have something to complement that.
Former first-round draft pick back in 1999 by the Phillies. 2-2. Got him. Big strikeout there for Myers.
Threw that curveball a little bit more towards Hinske's back foot. That's pretty gutsy pitching. We've talked about this before. Sometimes as a pitcher, you're on the mound and you're thinking that it's the right pitch, but for Myers, he's got to be thinking, man, I've thrown it 4 in a row. He's got to be looking for it. But he just, even if he had the confidence to throw it and just felt like, hey, even if he's looking for it, if I throw it right, he's still not going to hit it, and he didn't.
Well, the last several days, this has been an issue with the Braves. Getting base runners on with nobody out and can't score. Alex Gonzalez, 5 for his last 16, has his average up over 250. And he's in the hole 0-2. So Myers perhaps 1 pitch from wiggling off the hook here.
6 straight breaking balls.
Still 0-2.
Well, mixed it up from the breaking balls with that high fastball, so it'll be interesting now that he's changed his eye level a little bit to see if he'll come back with that 12-6 curveball. a slider. Wasn't that big curveball.
His fastball has always been in the low 90s, sometimes up to 93, 94 on a good day. So it's certainly a good enough fastball, but for the most part, always pretty straight. And gets out of the inning with back-to-back strikeouts of Hinsky and Gonzalez. Braves load him up, don't score. We go to the second. The jackpot, and for the Braves it's the head-to-head meetings over the last 9 games with the Houston Astros. Good numbers for the Braves, 7-2 mark, and they've out-homered them and out extra base hitted them.
Well, there's a lot of numbers tonight that are leaning the Braves' way, with all those numbers and Hanson's numbers lately and against the Astros and Myers' numbers against the Braves. So hopefully when it's all said and done, they're all going to add up.
Brett Wallace, first pitch swinging, sends one in the air. Wind will push it away from McLeod, but Nate stays with it and runs under it. And Bill Hall will be the batter. Bill Hall, veteran infielder, beginning to come around with the bat too. 5 for his last 12 with a homer. He's hitting 5 of his last 6 games. Pitches for Hanson in the first inning. And Hall tries to bunt his way on, but fouls it off. 1-1. A little breezy tonight and unseasonably cool.
I guess Mother Nature was listening last week when I said I wasn't ready for the 90-degree weather yet.
She was indeed. Bill Hall last year was with the Red Sox at 247, had 18 homers. Signed with Houston as a free agent.
Played with Milwaukee too?
He did. Originally was with the Brewers. Spent part of a season with Seattle as well. actually involved in a deal involving a former Brave as he went from Seattle to Boston for Casey Kochman. One and two. All a .250 career hitter with 122 career home runs. In fact, 124 if you count the two this year, and I think we probably should.
Probably should.
Got it. Good fastball, his second strikeout. Two down for Downs, the third baseman.
Well, that's the luxury of being able to throw 93, 94, 95 miles an hour. Missed his location, but beat him with the speed. Got a little bit more of the inner half of the plate, and they were trying to go away, but Hall couldn't catch up to it.
Matt Downs playing third base. Lines one to left. On comes Hensky, and he's got it in a quick inning for Tommy Hanson. Only 8 pitches needed for the second inning. Braves coming back up.
Customer satisfaction nationwide for 6 straight years. Experience all the comfort and amenities you expect at an unexpectedly low price. Jameson Inn. Live large, pay less.
From Turner Field, no score, bottom of the second inning. Joe and Tom with you tonight. Brett Myers able to pitch out of a bases loaded 1-out jam in the first. Struck out Hensky and Gonzalez to get out of it. And fans, a reminder to get your tickets in advance for the Braves Memorial Day weekend at Turner Field. Don't miss the public fireworks on the 27th. Kids run the bases and alumni autographs on the 29th. And then the Yacht Rock Review postgame concert presented by Delta and Coca-Cola on the 30th. For tickets, visit Braves.com.
My boys will be here Friday night. They're playing in the Brian McCann baseball tournament here in Atlanta that weekend, and they get tickets to the game Friday night. So
great.
Should be a fun weekend.
Max got a new haircut.
Yeah. They said he was feeling good at the plate, but he's not looking good.
Brett Freeman takes low, ball one. I told him before the game that if you just tell David Ross and me where he got his haircut, we go down there and beat the tar out of that guy. Freddie's 4 for his last 22. Facing Brett Myers for the first time. was a more slider-like breaking ball. 1-2.
He's changing a lot of speeds, that's for sure. A lot of different looks.
Well, one of the reports I heard on it was that it was getting around the league that people were beginning to figure out that he's throwing a lot more breaking stuff than he used to. And that was causing him some problems. We certainly saw evidence of that in the first inning. Line down the right field line, but hooking into the tunnel, foul.
Try to go in. Got it to about inner third. Freddie was a little too quick on it.
Still alive. With the Braves training in spring training at Disney and the Astros at Kissimmee, they are oftentimes playing each other a lot, but this spring only 4 games. 2 of them were very early in the first week. Ball missed, full count.
There's usually a lot more trips than that between Orlando and Kissimmee.
I know this year the Braves players would have voted for those trips instead of all the trips they had to make to Port St. Lucie.
Yeah.
To take on the Mets. Full count. Another off-speed pitch and fouled back. Yes, sir, David Ross. Thumbs up on that 2 out of 3 series win over the Phillies in particular. Missed inside, ball 4. 9-pitch walk. Good at bat for Freeman. And here's Joe Mather, who has played well lately when he's had a chance to get in there in the absence of Jason Hayward. 3 for his last 7 with a couple of extra base hits.
Had his first multi-hit game the other night since May of 2010, so he's done pretty well when he's been given the opportunity. Braves bench is starting to pay dividends here. All these guys going down.
He shows bunt. And be careful with Quintero, the catcher. Last year, Quintero led all the major leagues with 7 pickoffs by a catcher, and he already has 2 this year.
Yeah, he's of the Molina family catching school. They like to throw the ball.
Some of the Throwmore brothers. Now back right above us. Got a shot of Jason Hayward on the bench. He took batting practice today after just hitting off a tee yesterday, but seemed to be doing just fine, thank you, in the cage.
Hopefully he's not going to wear his pants like that in the field.
Well, that surely doesn't have anything to do with the chill in the air, does it?
Thinking that as thin as those pants are, they're not going to keep him warm anyway.
It's Jason swinging in the cage earlier today. Looked to be pain-free.
I was going to say, it looks free and easy, so that's a good sign.
Might see him back in there tomorrow. Check swing by Mather makes it 1-2.
Well, you don't want to have to go too long without he or Chipper in the lineup, as well as Hinsky and Mather and those guys have done when they've had the opportunity, and certainly Martin being able to move in and play the infield. Those 2 guys add such a presence to your lineup, particularly Chipper, so hopefully it won't be too long.
Line over the glove of Bill Hall. He may have gotten some leather on it to slow it down. Freeman had to wait, make sure he didn't catch it. But he'll get to second on the line shot single by Mather, and it is a base hit.
I think Hall thinks he should have got it. He jumped a little bit too early.
And he did get some leather on it, looked like. So the Braves in business again. First 2 reach, and now let's see if Tommy Hansen can move him up. He's got 4 sacrifice bunts this year. Takes high. Like to try and make the third baseman field this one if you can. Look out. Close play, but Freeman's back. Three and 0 to the pitcher who's trying to bunt.
It's tough sometimes when you're out there on the mound. You know the guy's trying to give himself up, and you go from being aggressive in the strike zone to just trying to put one in there and let him bunt it. And sometimes that takes you out of your rhythm, makes it hard to throw a strike.
Tommy was taken all the way there. 3-1.
Give him a shot at a swing here.
But he's squaring. Gets it down, but bunted it twice, and it's foul ball, full count.
Might have bunted ball 4.
Well, now, if he's going to continue to try and bunt, he doesn't need to be quite so fine. Just get it down. If you feel more comfortable pushing it to first, then push it to first and take your chances.
You gotta at least put it in play, make them make a play.
And he's out of there. So Myers gets a break after falling behind 3-0, and that's his 3rd strikeout. And back to the top of the order, and the player of the week in Martin Prado. Talking about the 2 injuries, though, Tom, with Chipper's knee and Jason's shoulder, that really makes you shorthanded on your bench for guys available to you.
Yeah, because, I mean, you probably could use Jason if you had to, I would guess, pinch hitting tonight if he's available to play tomorrow. You probably try not to. Certainly he could run or play defense like he did yesterday. But with Chipper, I'm sure he's inactive without actually being on the DL, obviously, but they're going to give it every chance they can so that if he does have to go on the DL, at least it's retroactive and they've eaten up a few days.
1-1 to Prado, who singled his first time up. Braves loaded him up in the first with 1 out, but didn't score. First and second, nobody out this inning. Hansen couldn't get the bunt down. There's 1 away. Hard to first. Wallace will go to second for 1. Now the relay to first, not in time. Barmas wasn't even going to make a throw and then realized he still had time to try and get Martin. 2 down, runners on the corners.
Nice play by Wallace. Made the throw, and yeah, I think once he avoided Freddie, I don't think he thought Myers was going to get there and gave him an extra second to get over there, and by then it was too late.
How far off the bag Wallace was playing too.
Yeah, he was way off the bag.
Braves 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position already tonight. See if Nate McLouth can change that. He had a bunt single his first time up. He stopped by Quintero. That saved a run.
Going back to Chipper and Hayward, those are the nights as the starting pitcher where you were on the bench and you had your batting gloves and your bat somewhere nearby, because there was a short list to choose from for pinch hitters. Of course, like we were all arguing our case as who was to be the first one called.
I would have loved to have heard some of that conversation. Yeah, but Bobby, I had a hit last week.
And of course, if it was early in the game and they would have called somebody other than myself, it would have been, well, they're saving me for the late inning situation when the game's on the line.
Freeman at third. Martine at first. And another pitching behind in the count, but another breaking ball. There's part of what I was talking about a minute ago, Tommy, with their inability lately with great opportunities to get that key hit that had come so often early in the year.
Yeah, that stat there, it seems to me that's one stat that just kind of has bounced back and forth. Oh, it seemed like earlier in the year they struggled with it, and then when they got on a roll, their numbers with runners in scoring positions were off the charts, and now it's kind of gone back the other way again.
And it's happened here at home. But 3-1 to Nate. And a full count. It's a 4-3 ball count that Myers has been to already, and he's up to 49 pitches.
Yeah, he's having to work. This is the style of game where you might be in the fourth inning and feel like you've pitched 15 innings.
Prado runs from first, and ball 4 to McLeod, and McCann will get another chance. Third walk by Brett Myers. He walked 4 in 6 innings in that last start against Cincinnati.
Well, this might be a case where he was just trying to pick his poison. I'm not sure one was any better than the other, but Nate McLeod's hitting .455 off him in his career, so he might not have wanted too much to do with him.
McCann hit a rocket to right center his first time up, but Hunter Pence ran it down. Brian O for his last 9. Had them loaded each of the first 2 innings, still looking for their first run. Freeman, Prado, and McLeod. That's foul. Brian tried to pull something running away from him. Looked like a changeup, maybe that curveball, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, I think that was more of the slow 12-6 curveball, and Brian got a little out in front of it.
Shift on for McCann. 3 infielders on the right side, with Bill Hall out in shallow right field. That breaking ball worked real well in the first inning to get him out of trouble.
I wonder if that's what that conversation was about. Do we want to go there again? Or do we want to try and outthink ourselves and make a change?
Missed inside. Full count. That looks like a straight change.
A change up there. Try to go inside change up.
Well, the old merry-go-round. 33 pitch inning at this point. Runners go. And a fair ball. And Myers gets out of it again. Braves leave them loaded again. And it's still scoreless after 2. And tonight it comes from Larry Wright in Eva, Alabama, who wants to know, is it harder mentally to prepare for a team like the Astros after such a big series against the Phillies?
And the answer is absolutely yes. You know, those are the things as professional athletes you try and train yourself to do, because every game obviously is important, but there's no question emotionally there's a little bit of a letdown after a series like that against Philadelphia that's so hyped, and they're the team in your division that's leading and chance to make up ground. So absolutely there's an emotional letdown, and mentally you've got to get yourself back on the game and play just as hard.
Humberto Quintero leads off the third for Houston and takes a strike. 0 for his last 7, his average under 240 now. Well, Tommy had an 8-pitch inning last inning. If he can have a quick one this time and again and have Brett Myers run back out there, that'd be a nice thing. Wind should push that out of play, and it will.
Yeah, Myers is having to deal with the long innings on the mound, the high pitch count. Hansen's having to work or deal with on the other side of having quick innings, but on a cool night, having to sit in the dugout and wait and wait and wait. And sometimes as a pitcher, that's the worst, when you're just sitting there inning after inning waiting and you're not scoring any runs.
Yeah.
You know.
Hansen ahead in the count. Tapper off the end of the bat to Ugla. And 1 out. And Brett Myers will be the batter. Not a bad hitter. And this year, off to a pretty good start, 4 for 17. This guy was a pretty good boxer as a kid. His dad was a trainer, worked with Larry Holmes among others. Brett at age 12 and 13 started some amateur fighting and was 12-0 with 10 knockouts.
Pretty good success rate.
So think twice before you charge the mound. Chases a high one. 3 strikeouts for Hansen. Two outs for Michael Bourne, who fanned his first time up. Coming to Houston from Philadelphia was great for Michael Bourne. He is a Houston native. Drops it down. Martin with a tough play. And got him. Do it all, Martin. Second great defensive play of the night already. And another quick inning for Hansen. Here's our Zaxby's indescribably good plays of the night already.
Yeah, we had to go plural on him tonight. That diving play down the line, saving a run in the first inning, and then this great play here on the bunt by Michael Bourne. And what's great about that play right there, that's a tough play to make when you're playing third base every day.
Yeah.
When you're playing predominantly left field and you're coming in every now and then to play third, that's a really good play right there.
He is some kind of good baseball player and loves to play. Out of Maracay, Venezuela. Ugla, Hinsky, and Gonzalez due up here in the third inning. Brett Myers has thrown 56 pitches in the first 2 innings. That's out of play. And all 6 of his outs that he's recorded tonight have come with runners in scoring position.
He doesn't like to bear down until he gets in a little bit of trouble.
I guess so.
I'm sure he's saying it to himself, let's try and get some outs before we get into trouble.
Hit well to center. Bourne back pedals. He's got room. 1 out. Well, Myers last year looked like he had really turned the corner. With the Astros last year, he went 14-8 and an excellent ERA in that ballpark for his home park, a 3.14. 223 innings, only 212 hits allowed. He struck out 180, and it earned him a 2-year contract extension plus an option year. And now Hinsky's dropping the bunt down. And not a chance for Downs. The Astros had the shift on for Eric, and he decided to take advantage of it.
Well, taking a page out of Michael Bourne's book, but third baseman was playing shortstop, so with all that room over there, all he's got to do is pretty much get it fair, and he did. Braves have another base runner.
David Ross has been working with him.
David was under a little bit more pressure than that one.
Gonzalez struck out to end the first with the bases loaded. He bats here with 1 out.
Well, Hinsky not much of a threat to run, but I'm guessing that since he laid down a bunt, Brett's probably thinking, well, I don't want to take you for granted over there.
Yeah, I've never faced the guy before. I don't know. Maybe he does run. Down the line, foul. The last time Brett Myers beat the Braves was here in this ballpark, August 7th, 2006. And in that game, he went 5 innings, gave up 7 hits and 4 runs, but still got the win with the Phillies. Gonzalez down on strikes for the second time. 2 outs for Freddie Freeman. Here's our Jamison Inn upcoming schedule.
Good pitching matchup tomorrow night. Wandy Rodriguez against Derek Lowe. Both guys throwing the ball well.
Last game of the homestand.
1 o'clock getaway day. You got dinner plans tomorrow night?
Let you know.
Okay.
Depends on what time we get there. Headed to Phoenix. And we'll have the game for you on Sports South.
Gotta love those 6:40 starts out there, right?
Yeah, it's great.
Play golf in the morning, go to the game, and still have time for dinner.
Yeah. Now that's a plan. Freeman drew a walk his first time up. Good breaking ball, 0-2.
Isn't it amazing though when you 6:40? It's only a half hour earlier, or in some cases an hour earlier, but it seems like the game gets over like 3 hours earlier than a 7 o'clock start does.
It does. And the Diamondbacks have been doing that for several years. Another curveball, still 0-2. 9 pitches this inning for Brett Myers, and they're all strikes.
Finding his groove a little bit.
Let him off the hook in the first and second. Another breaking ball. Tried to get him to chase a high fastball and couldn't. That was an 88 fastball, and quite frankly, I think that was the best we've seen tonight.
Came out of his hand the best.
Astros come to town having just lost 2 out of 3 at home to the Mets and 2 out of 3 to Cincinnati. Another breaking ball. He gets out of this inning again unscathed, but without too much stress. Scoreless through 3. Three innings in the books. No score. Braves have threatened, but can't push anything across against Brett Myers. And Tommy Hanson faces the heart of the order for Houston here in the fourth. Barmas, Pence, and Lee. A lot of people were wondering who was going to pitch Wednesday in Arizona, and the Braves have announced that Julio Teheran will make that start. A subsequent roster move will have to be made to allow him space on the roster. But Barmas leads off the inning. He walked his first time. One on one. Mike Minor pitched for Gwinnett a couple of days ago, so it's not really his turn to come up. Rodrigo Lopez pitches tonight. Teheran's turn is tomorrow, so he'll just be pushed back a day to work on Wednesday. Good pitch. 2-2. Out of play. Tommy, typically Hanson's problems are early on, not late.
Yeah, I was looking at that in the notes. Yeah, his first two innings, he's given up the majority of his runs this year. But like a lot of good pitchers, You got to get to him early. If you don't, he starts to figure some things out.
And tonight, smooth sailing so far. He made 2 starts against the Astros last year. Won one of them. He was 1-0 with a 1.2 ERA. In lifetime, an 0.78 ERA in 3 starts against them. Have a seat. Big hook. Strikeout number 4.
There's that big 12-6 curveball, and there's just not much you can do with that. Even if you're looking for that pitch, it's still hard to sit back and wait on it and square it up. And I don't think Clinton was looking for that one.
Nope. Coming into the game, right-handers are only hitting 158 against him anyway. Here's the praying mantis. Hunter Pence takes outside, ball 1. Grounded out.
That has to be the best nickname in the game. And it's so appropriate, too.
Don't get me wrong, he's a terrific athlete. He can run. He's just, everything he does is just a little bit unorthodox and kind of stiff looking.
Yeah, he can run, he can play the outfield, good hitter. He's the total package.
He chokes up on the bat a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, good 2-0 change.
Kind of giving Hanson a look like, come on, what is that?
Got a piece of that. 2-2. And Hunter Pence has power to all fields, especially in his ballpark, Minute Maid Park. Mack wants that fastball on the outside corner. Delivered there, and in between hop for Ugla. He handles it. 2 down. And with 2 out and Carlos Lee coming to the plate, time for our AT&T U-verse trivia question.
Uh-oh. Let me get ready. Hold on. Okay.
Sit up. Who's the only current Major League outfielder with more home runs and RBIs than Carlos Lee? Now, is that this year or career? What are we talking here? Career. Okay. All right. I was saying he only has 4 home runs. I would assume that would mean career. Just told you he picked up his 2,000th hit over the weekend. He's in his 13th year, so somebody's got to be around for a while. That's roped into left, their first hit of the night. Two-out single for Carlos Lee, and that'll bring Rhett Wallace to the plate. Ten-game hitting streak now for Carlos Lee as he continues his good ways. Wallace flied out on the first pitch he saw in the second, goes after the first pitch here. 0-1. This guy is a good story. He looks shorter than he is. He's listed at 6'2", but it's because he weighs 252. Something about his uniform makes him look a little shorter. But this guy can hit. He was a #1 pick by the Cardinals out of Arizona State in 2008, 13th pick overall in the draft. And then Oakland got him from the Cardinals in the Matt Holliday trade. Oakland then traded him to Toronto for an outfielder named Michael Taylor. And then last year, when the Phillies, as part of the trade that Phillies made the trade to get the pitcher from the Astros.
A.J. Happ?
J. Happ came from the Phillies.
Or J. Happ, yeah.
J. Happ came from the Phillies. This guy went from Toronto to Philly to Houston all in one day.
Hope it all happened before he had to get on the plane.
Yeah, well, down on strikes. The same day, Lance Berkman got traded, so he got activated. That's a long story for nothing, really. Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the right stuff at the low price. And as we go to the bottom of the fourth, time for our Sunshine House leaderboard. And tonight's subject, May records in the National League.
Well, May was the month last year that the Braves took off, and seems to be the month this year where they're getting things back on track. For a while there, I think a couple broadcasts ago, we were talking about how the Braves had won 7 out of 10, but so had the Phillies and the Marlins, so they couldn't make any ground. So it's nice not to see the Phillies in that graphic.
Yeah, Braves have closed within 3.5 games of the Phillies after taking 2 out of 3 this past weekend. Joe Mather singled his first time up, fouls that one off. He lined a shot off the glove of Bill Hall into right center. Finish my stupid story. When Roy Oswalt went from Houston to Philadelphia,
that guy,
in a convoluted way, Brett Wallace wound up with the Astros. There he is.
And he appreciates all the airtime you're giving him here in Atlanta.
Another slow curve. Brett Myers' arm has to be somewhat twisted already from all the curveballs, but that's 6 strikeouts and 3 in a row. Might be settling in after getting off the hook in the first 2 innings. Myers.
He's probably thinking to himself, boy, this last inning and a third is a heck of a lot easier than those first 2, where I think I'll stay with this approach.
He's working faster.
Probably because he's got nobody on base and he's not having to walk around and figure out, what am I going to do now?
Yeah. Ball got away from him. 2-1.
Yeah, when you're getting in your groove, there's that breaking ball that a little bit more of a cement mixer than a breaking ball. But when you're getting into that groove, there's a lot less thinking going on. It's just give me the ball.
2-2.
When I'd have games like that every now and then, I'd call home and talk to my parents, and my dad would say, well, you're doing an awful lot of walking around out there tonight.
And he knew what that meant.
Yeah.
He went to a full count on Hansen in the second inning when Tommy was trying to bunt runners over and eventually struck him out on a 3-2 pitch. This time, base hit for Hansen. You're right, Mr. Glavin. Maybe he should have swung away last time.
Well, see, I had a premonition, but Freddie wasn't on the same page with me. Good count for a pitcher, 3-2. You're looking heater all the way, and tried to go away and got it a little bit on the inner third, and Tommy found a hole.
His second hit of the year. Martin Prado singled in the first to extend his hitting streak to 8 games. Hit into a fielder's choice in the second. If your leadoff man is hitting for the third time in 4 innings, that you would take that normally as a good sign.
Yeah, normally you've got a couple of crooked numbers up there and you're enjoying a comfortable lead, but today's one of those rare games where I haven't been able to get that big hit.
Here's our Delta Airlines on deck with Nate McLouth. 6 for 12 with 3 homers in his career against Brett Myers, as you see, and has a single and a walk tonight.
Which may play right into Martin's hands, because Brett Myers might be thinking, I don't want to pitch to that guy on deck. I got to get this guy out.
.20 curveball. That's been pretty consistent tonight. Martin with a big hole to work with on the right side, and he likes to shoot the ball to right field in these situations. Instead, right back to the mound. 1-6-3 double play, inning over. An easier inning for Mr. Myers, who played 4. Those young men from the state of Indiana taking in their first Braves game. But here's our McDonald's fan of the game, shaking his groove thing as the music was playing here earlier. Working out some of that cotton candy.
Yeah. Right about mom now. Mom's saying no more.
Yeah,
that's it.
He's still enjoying a little between inning music. And the mom's halfway dodging and
yeah. Probably got a text from somebody telling him, come on, son, keep going. You're on TV.
Bill Hall Matt Downs and Humberto Quintero will lead off for, or be due up here for the Astros in the 5th. Hall struck out his first time up. Braves need to take care of business against this last place club that's 15-25. Like a slider there for a strike, and a good one. Threw it right at him. Hansen ahead in the count, 0-2. Tommy's walked 1, he's struck out 5. He struck out 6.
That was just looking for a slider right there. Started his fastball in the same slot as the slider, but stayed there and called strike 3.
Downs hit the ball hard his first time up. A line shot right to Hinske and left. Just joined us. Chipper not in the lineup again tonight. Prado's playing third base, and he's turned in 2 gems defensively. Hinske's moved over to left field, and Joe Mathers in right, as Hayward not in the lineup either. A drive to left. That ball's got a chance, and it is gone. Home run, Downs. His 3rd, and the Astros have the lead.
Looked like a fastball trying to go down and away, and kind of caught middle in and up a little bit, and Downs got it. A little bit of a carton fish there. Not sure it was going to stay fair, but Blazer Baker was here. That one would have traveled 335.5 feet, I think.
I think that would be exactly right. Quintero, the catcher, grounded out his first time, takes a strike. 4th home run allowed by Hansen this year. The Astros have another third baseman, and I thought last year was going to be their third baseman for a decade. Chris Johnson got called up 94 games. He had 308, 11 homers, 52 RBIs in 94 games. But this year it's been a battle for him. Scouting report got around on him a little bit, and he has struggled. And Downs, inserted into the lineup, has been red hot. 5 for his last 10 with 2 homers. Still 1-2 to Quintero. Downs claimed off waivers from the Giants last year. Good off speed pitch, 7 strikeouts. And Brett Myers, who just tiptoed through minefields in the first 2 innings and threw up some zeros, has a 1-0 lead.
Strange game sometimes with all the opportunities the Braves had, and one mistake by Hansen, and they're behind.
To right field, Mather has a beat on it. An easy inning otherwise, but Matt Downs It's a line shot over the left field wall, and the Astros lead. Fifth, and time for the answer to our AT&T U-verse trivia question, and it was regarding Carlos Lee, who's the only current Major League outfielder with more homers and RBIs than Carlos Lee. I thought maybe Adam Dunn, but Tommy, I got to go with Andrew Jones. What do you think?
I would have to agree with you there, my friend. The only other one I would think of is maybe Beltran, but I don't think he's got that many home runs. So.
Yeah.
Very nice.
There's a lot of crying going on in the truck right now.
Yeah. So Carlos Lee, 335 home runs, 1,214 RBIs, and Andrew with 409 home runs, 1,225 RBIs.
Pretty good numbers for both.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody give Miss Keeney a crying towel.
Yeah.
Brent Myers will face the heart of the Atlanta order here in the fifth. He had thrown 56 pitches through 2 innings. That's number 82 on the night, and it's a rocket right at Wallace. 1 out. Brian McCann hit the ball hard his first time up. He was headed for the right center field gap, but Hunter Pence ran it down. And then he grounded out to first with the bases loaded, 2 out in the second. Big motion on that slow curve, 0-2.
Yeah, it just looks good out of the hand when you see it up in your eyes, but it's just hard to get to it.
He's putting a lot of deception into it too, Tom, with that big high leg kick and throwing his glove at you.
Yeah, you got knees and elbows coming all over the place, and everything's quick in terms of the pace of his delivery, and then it's that slow breaking ball that you see the delivery and you start to naturally speed up, but you got to wait back for the change of speeds.
2-2. Yeah, you got to see the ball out of his hand. Ignore everything else. Just missed inside. Full count. Brian, been a while since he hit his last homer. Ugla on deck. Brian's last homer April 14th against Florida and Ricky Nolasco. So he's due. Broken bat toward the bag, and a nice play by Barmas, who had shifted over on the other side of second base. Myers able to dodge the bat.
Yeah, we saw one of these yesterday. The Braves caught a break on when same thing happened to Halladay, and he couldn't get over to cover first base, and the Braves got a base hit out of it. But Shift was on there, and nice play.
Dan Uggla has walked and flied out deep to center. He said after yesterday's game that he felt good at the plate even in the strikeout in his first at bat.
Well, he must have felt something we weren't necessarily seeing.
On that at bat, yes. Yeah. In the air down the line, Wallace lost it, so did Pence, and fortunately for them it drops in the seats. Pitches, but he's got the lead. 2-1 to Uggla. Dan's got a little 4-game hitting streak working. Count even. Lifted to left, but Carlos Lee is there, and he'll put it away, and the Braves go 3 up and 3 down in the 5th. 1-0 Astros. Top of the order for Houston: Bourne, Barmas, and Pence. Bourne is struck out, and he was thrown out by Prado attempting to bunt back in the 3rd inning. Martin made a terrific play. The curveball he struck out on his first time up, fouled it off. 1-2. 1 for 12 in his career against Hansen. 4 strikeouts.
Yeah, he does not look comfortable up there at the plate against Tommy.
Right back to the mound. An easy out. And with 1 out, a reminder that on Saturday for Civil Rights Weekend, the Braves and Phillies wore Negro League uniforms of the Atlanta Black Crackers and the Philadelphia Stars. You can still bid on these historic autographed jerseys today at braves.com/jersey-auction.contributions. It benefits the Martin Luther King Jr. National Memorial Fund. McLeod had a little trouble finding that one, but tracks it down. 2 down. Again, go to braves.com/jersey-auction for those Negro League uniforms. Hunter Pence is 0 for 2. Gets ahead of him with a good strike. Cardinals have come back to lead Philadelphia 2-1, bottom of the 5th, still batting. Braves would appreciate a little help there. Boy, he's had a good curve tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. When you see a guy buckle his knees like that, you know if he's looking for it, he's still not seeing it, kid.
And got him with a fastball right down the middle. Strikeout number 8 for Hanson. Get him a couple of runs. In the 50s with a pretty good breeze still blowing in from left field. But it wasn't blowing in hard enough to knock down that line shot home run by Matt Downs in the 5th inning to give the Astros a 1-0 lead.
They got just enough of that one, keep it under the wind.
And Eric Hensky will lead off for the Braves in the 6th. He is struck out, put out a good bunt single. But the Astros still playing a bit of a shift for him, and certainly Downs at third base off the line and deep. And Brett Myers has thrown 94 pitches, and about 91 of them have been breaking balls.
I thought you were going to say in the 80s, but.
going to have to start looking for that pitch at some point early in the count.
They better hurry up, because can't imagine he's going to pitch much more than this inning here.
Hard hit and through, base hit on an 0-2 count. Tried to trick him and run a fastball by him, and Hinske was ready for it. He's 2 for 3.
I guess that's why they're smarter than you and I are, because, like you said, with all those steady doses of breaking balls, it's hard to imagine you'd be looking fastball, but
just got it past Hall, too.
I guess that's the always look fastball and fight off the breaking ball approach.
Well, it was 0-2, certainly. Gonzalez has fanned twice, and he lines one to left. Lee will cut it off, but Hinske's thinking going to third, and he'll make it. Good hustle by Eric Hinske, and they're on the corners with nobody out.
Fastball again down the middle, line drive, and you hear so often about a guy stretching a single into a double, or it starts coming out of the batter's box. I think Eric Hinske had his mind made up that he was going to get from first to third, and I'm sure that was something in their scouting report on Carlos Lee and his arm and his mobility out there. And as soon as he saw that ball remotely headed towards the gap, he had his mind made up he was going to third.
And Lee plays deep too. So the Braves in good shape here on the corners. Nobody out. Freeman, little tapper to first. Wallace looks the runner back at third and steps on the bag. So Freddie Freeman on an off-speed pitch. A little impatient, went after the first one and just hit a tapper to first. It did move the runner from first to second. Gonzalez. And Joe Mather will have a chance to either tie the game or put the Braves on top.
This could be a potential little cat and mouse game here, with Hansen on deck and the Braves with a short bench. See if they walk the bases loaded here and bring Hansen up. Maybe force Freddie to make a move, or I don't think that he would, the way Hansen's throwing the ball. But
Scott Proctor is loosening up. He was just called up from Gwinnett. He's loosening up in the pen. He is. Mather is singled and struck out. Infield in. The only guy that's back is Barmas at short. Odd setup. But now the right side of the diamond backs up a couple of steps. One and one. Mather's base hit came in the second inning, and it was a line shot to right center. You'd like to have him take that same approach here.
That would be just what Tommy Hansen would be looking for.
Leads off the curveball. 2-1.
Yeah, with Hinske's speed at third, the infield's not quite all the way in. They're a little bit more kind of the middle of the base path, a little bit more time where Eric doesn't run quite so fast. Try to get out of this 0 for 7 slide with runners in scoring position here.
Hard hit. They do. Base hit. Game is tied. Gonzalez is going to be waved home, and he'll make it standing. Braves lead 2-1 on the base hit by Joe Mather.
Well, you can't keep getting opportunities time and time again, and the Braves certainly let him get away early in the game, but Mather got a breaking ball that was up, and with the infield drawn in, he was able to punch it through the hole, and good base running by Alex Gonzalez there to score on the base hit to left field as well. So 2-1 Braves.
Hansen couldn't get a bunt down his first time up and struck out. Fouls that one off 0-1. Those were the first 2 RBIs of the year for Joe Mather. Hanson still bunting. Gets it down, but foul, 0-2. This is upsetting for Hanson because he'd gone through a real good stretch. He has 4 sacrifices on the year, and his last couple of starts, he'd done a great job of moving guys up.
Yeah, he's trying to be a little too fine, it seems like, with Myers.
Tommy singled through the hole on the left side his last time up. Lays off that pitch, 1-2. Braves have taken a 2-1 lead on a 2-run single by Joe Mather. Myers boxes it around, still boxing it. Didn't get him. He acted like he didn't think he was supposed to feel that, Tommy.
Yeah, it's almost like he didn't see it, or he didn't know where it was going, or he was surprised that he bunted it. I mean, there was a strange reaction all the way around by Myers, and then once he did gather himself and try and field the ball, he bobbled it 2 or 3 times. Maybe it was bunted harder than he thought it was. Like he had time to kind of come in and set himself, and then he was like, whoops, that ball is getting ready to get past me.
It'll go as an error on the pitcher. First and second, 1 out for Martin Prado, who's 1 for 3 tonight. He hit into a double play his last time up. Singled in the first. And if you just joined us or hadn't heard, Martin named the National League Player of the Week today for his great work last week, where he was 12 for 26 with 3 homers. Braves finally capitalize on an opportunity against Brett Myers. They left 7 men on base through the first 3 innings. Left the bases loaded in the first and second innings without scoring. The Astros have their bullpen busy. Jeff Fulcino and Fernando Abad loosening up. One and 1 to Prado. Couldn't stop his swing. 1-2. Off the end of the bat. Got a chance for a double play again. There's the tag and the toss. Good play by Bill Hall. That ends the inning, but the Braves get a couple of runs on the base hit by Joe Mather, and we go to the 7th. Atlanta on top. Good work by Tommy Hansen and clutch hitting by Joe Mather.
Yeah, kind of the bookends right there. Two guys in the middle for the Astros. Brett Myers been in and out of trouble all night. Wasn't able to get out of that jam in the last inning. And Downs with the solo home run that gave the Astros the lead. But Joe Mather with the big 2-run single that quickly put the Braves back on top.
Chilly night in Atlanta. I was going to say a minute ago, right before the double play, that's rare you see a pitcher running the bases with a jacket on in mid-May in Atlanta, but that was the case for Hansen.
Well, I said it was playoff atmosphere this weekend. We got the weather again, but not quite the same atmosphere. But
the weather's right. Carlos Lee extended his hitting streak to 10 games with a base hit his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Homers and 22 RBIs for the big man.
So that, based on that trivia question, I'm thinking that this note in their game notes is wrong. The 9th active player to have 2,000 hits while also having 600 plus homers.
Yeah, 600 might be a
bit much,
too
right?
Many. That's almost us. A little short of us up here.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought he doesn't have 600 home runs.
Last year was the first year he failed to hit or drive in 100 runs since 2004 with the White Sox. Over the bag, fair ball, long throw for Prado, high throw. And did that make it into the dugout? I think it did, and Lee will take second on the error by Prado.
Got that ball down the line, his backhand, and was in good position, did everything right. He must have had a very good grip on that, and ball sailed on him a little bit. Freddie Freeman doesn't let too many get by him, but that one was just a little bit too high.
Yeah, had a little bit of an outfield thought on that throw. So the tying run in scoring position at second base for Wallace, who is flied out, struck out.
I believe Carlos Lee will be a guy that's going to get a look or two around the trading deadline this year, I would imagine.
Strike call to Wallace. Came into the game hitting .333. But has the second highest average in the major leagues since April 7th. A little bit of a slow start, but he's hit .370 since then. George Sherrill playing a little catch in case he's needed. Wallace stays alive. Got a piece of McCann in the process. Brett Wallace went to Arizona State, and he was the Pac-10 Player of the Year in back-to-back years, his sophomore and junior year, and he won the Triple Crown each year. That's pretty good work. I don't care what league you're in.
Pretty good work. He was what, 13th pick overall?
Uh-huh. Lays off that fastball, 1-2. Very manageable pitch count for Hansen tonight. He's had a couple of innings where he only threw 8 pitches.
2-1 balls to strike. That usually is a good indication that you're pitching a good ball game.
Still 1-2. Bill Hall on deck. Carlos Lee at second. He reached on the throwing error by Prado.
See if they stay hard away here. Try and keep him from pulling the ball.
Went soft away and got good results anyway.
Better results.
9 strikeouts.
Threw him a steady dose of curveballs and then threw him that fastball that he fouled off. Went right back to the curveball and threw that one a little bit slower, or fooled him with the speed, got him out in front of it.
It almost looked like it had a little backup action too, like a little screwball action.
That backup curveball, backup slider, those are really good pitches if you can do them on purpose, but nobody's ever figured out how to do it on purpose.
Bill Hall has fanned twice. Hanson's strikeout high for the year is 10. That came at San Diego when he combined with the bullpen on a 7-0 shutout, April 27th. Had Hall chasing there. 0-2. Hanson's career high in strikeouts, 11. That was July 20th of 09 against the Giants here. Ahead 0-2. There's number 10. Ties his season high, and the batter will be the guy who has hit the ball the hardest tonight off of him, Matt Downs. Downs lined out in the second to left field, homered on a line shot to left in the fifth.
Brian talking to him right there about how do you want to go, what do you want to go first pitch, what do you want to try and get ahead with, anything in the scouting report that we're not comfortable with, that we've seen from this guy. And oh, by the way, we got a base open.
Well, let's see how they go after him. Tying run at second, 2 out. Slow curve, a little high. Lined again to left center field. Hinske on the run. He's not going to get it. Matt Downs has now tied the game up with his third rope of the night. Whatever they're doing is not working. That looked like that might be another hanger.
Yeah, that one. Breaking ball, curveball, slider. Tommy just didn't finish and it stayed over the middle of the plate. And Downs got a good swing on it and found the gap. That curveball that just kind of hung, and you can see Mac's reaction right there. That's one out of your hand as a pitcher. You're just praying that he's going to foul it off or take it because you know it's not going where you want it to.
So just like that, we're tied again. It's an unearned run, but it counts nonetheless. And Quintero, the batter, he is grounded out and struck out. Headed toward the Braves dugout and behind the dugout, out of play. Jason Michaels, veteran outfielder, has a bat. He's in the on-deck circle. he would hit for Brett Myers if that spot comes up. Tapper towards short, cut off by Prado. Good throw on this one, and the inning is over. But not before Matt Downs does the trick again. An RBI double ties the game. Pitching change for the Astros. Myers is out of there, and Fernando Abad takes over his 22nd game.
22nd game of the year, 1-3 with a 6.92 ERA. 13 innings, 6 walks, 8 strikeouts. Opponent's batting average .298. Well, 6.92 ERA and a big batting average against. I'm sure that would make the Braves feel like they've got an opportunity here. Fastball, curveball, changeup guy, 88 to 91 on the fastball. Predominantly fastball, curveball.
And for the Braves, a couple of left-handed batters to lead off the inning. McLeod, McCann, and then Ugla. Nate was 1 for 2 with a walk against Myers. Lined out his last time up. Left-handers hitting just .214 against Abad so far in the year. 25 years old. He comes in with a slow curve to start things.
Walk could be nice.
He's 6'2", 215 out of La Romana, Dominican Republic. 22 games with the Astros last year, ball 3. And ball 4. Thank you, Tom.
Very much.
Anything else?
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of things that have gone wrong for Houston this year, but their bullpen has definitely been one of them. 7-8 on the year with a 5.6 ERA. 47 walks in 110 innings pitched. That's not very good.
That's just throwing some heat on the fire, isn't it? When
Yes,
you're walking that many guys.
And there you see, last in ERA. next to last in relief ERA, starters ERA, hits per 9 innings. That's when you're pitching struggling like that, it's going to be tough to win ball games.
Braves have 8 hits so far tonight. McCann, the batter, and he takes a strike. He's 0 for 3 tonight.
If I'm reading this correctly, and I keep looking at it and wondering if I am, they're 5 for 15 in save opportunities. Is that right?
Yeah, they've blown more games than any other team.
Wow. That'll demoralize you quickly as a club.
1-1. Kind of started opening day against the Phillies in Philadelphia. They had a lead in the bottom of the ninth with about 3 runs and gave up 4 to lose. That breaking ball found the mark, and Abad is ahead in the count 1-2.
177 base runners in 110 innings out of your bullpen. That's
Yikes.
That's getting in some trouble, and obviously they haven't been getting out of it very much.
Nice stop by Quintero, and he chases the ball down the line. Two and 2 to McCann. Changeup left upstairs, and McCann had time to foul it off.
Yeah, he hung that one a little bit too much for Mac to do anything with it. It's kind of that you're going to hang it higher than high, where you can't do much. The hitter can't do much with it.
So far, it would appear he's having a hard time throwing that breaking ball to the outside part of the plate where he wants it, close enough to make a lefty swing. Might be able to just spit on that pitch. Full count. As you know, the Braves don't run much. But let's see what happens here. Nobody out, tying run, or excuse me, the go-ahead run at first base in a tie game in the 7th.
I got a left-hander on the mound, albeit not a very good move. It'll be a little bit tougher for Nate to run, but checking to see if he could catch Nate taking off a little early.
Not going. And he struck him out.
I don't know if Brian was fooled by the pitch or fooled by the delivery. He went a little bit more of a slide step on that one, and I don't know if it caught Brian off guard because he changed his tempo a little bit, or maybe were them struggling to find the strike zone, didn't think there was a way in the world he was going to throw a 3-2 breaking ball.
But again, he was just trying to throw it for a strike. He didn't try to throw it hard off the plate. He just hit the center of the plate. Brett Arnsberg's the pitching coach. He's having a chat with everybody.
Buying a little bit of time for somebody in the bullpen, or
nobody in the pen. Beg your pardon, Wilton Lopez, a right-hander, is loosening up. But he's not being brought in here. That means that Abad will have to pitch to Ugla. Braves have had base runners all over the place. Ugla tonight has walked, flied out twice, 0 for 2.
I talked earlier. hit some home runs from the 7th inning on, so this is his time of the game.
Another pickoff attempt by Quintero. That changeup, that straight change he just threw to Ugla, he telegraphed to McCann, and he really telegraphed to Ugla. Really slowed everything down. There's another one. 2-1.
Well, it's a tough pitch to throw. Even guys at this level make the mistake of slowing their body down or slowing their arm down. It's just hard to get that mentality that you have to throw it when you know you're trying to make it go slower.
Wanted the fastball away and got it in. 3-1. Kinski on deck. He's 2 for 3 tonight. Change up and a beauty. 3-2.
Well, if you throw a 3-1, you got to throw a 3-2, right?
That's what Quintero's thinking. I don't know if I've seen a guy get more change-ups, 3-1, 3-2, 2-0 than Dan Ugla has here through the first 6 weeks of the season.
Well, everybody knows he's a good fastball hitter, and you don't want to let him extend. So, you're going to take your shot with him on off-speed stuff, and particularly change-ups.
And couldn't find the mark with that one. Second walk of the inning, first and second for Hinske, who probably got schooled pretty well in the dugout by Brian McCann.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good idea what he's looking for here. But, he's really hasn't shown that he can throw much anything over the plate consistently. So as a hitter, I'm not sure what you look for.
They don't have the luxury we have of seeing his course of action every pitch and what he's missing with. But at least to McCann and even to McLeod, the only pitches that he could throw to it for a strike that were even close to the plate were the breaking ball and changeups.
Right. As a hitter, I guess it's probably hard to totally eliminate the fastball, but you almost have to here with this guy until you get 2 strikes.
Fastball misses, 1-1. Astros signed this guy, Fernando Abad, when he was 16. He got to the big leagues for the first time last year. He's 25. This with a fastball again, 2-1. Take a chance here. Sit on that off speed. And there it is, and he lined it to right. Nate McLeod's going to be waved home. Hunter Pence with a good arm fires to the plate. Off the mark. Braves lead 3-2. Eric Hinske comes through.
Like you said, Joe, take a chance sit on that off-speed pitch, and he got the curveball, and it was over the plate for a strike, and he hammered it into right field. McLeod got a good jump, good secondary lead, good jump. Scored ahead of the throw. Braves take the lead, first and third again.
Yeah, Ugla hustled around to third base. 12th RBI for Eric Hinske. His second 3-hit game of the season. The Astros are making some changes, and we'll catch up with that when we come back. Henske, base hit to right. And the new pitcher is Wilton Lopez, a guy who throws strikes, Tom, and last year set a major league record when he stranded 32 of the 33 runners he inherited.
Yeah, he's on for the 14th time, 0-1 with a 3.97 ERA. Like you said, he throws strikes, goes after guys. Issued just 5 walks in his last 42 appearances, covering 40 2/3 innings, dating back to July of last year.
The Astros will make a double switch in the process. Angel Sanchez comes on to play second base. He'll bat ninth. So plug Lopez into Bill Hall's spot in the 6th spot in the order. Alex Gonzalez singled his last time up and came around to score. He's 1 for 3 tonight. An extra run to work with here would be mighty nice.
Yes, it would give everybody a little bit of breathing room. It's always nice to take them out as a pitcher when one pitch is not going to cost you the ball game.
0-2.
Wilson's got a good fastball, 92 to 95. Predominantly fastball thrower. Occasional slider, occasional changeup, but really likes to use that fastball. He'll throw a 2-seamer every now and then.
Alex needs to put this one in play. Fouls it back out of play. Lopez was on the disabled list earlier this year. He had some problems with his ulnar nerve in his pitching elbow. And took a little off and struck out Gonzalez, who fans for the 3rd time tonight. Still on the corners for Freddie Freeman. Freddie walked his first time up. He was struck out and grounded out since.
A big 2-out hit right here would be nice. Maybe a wild pitch. Ground ball through the legs. Anything at this point.
Tapper. And Sanchez takes care of Freeman on the first pitch. Braves will settle for 1, but it does give them the lead. Eric Henske comes through, and we go to the 8th. Atlanta 3-2. Jason Hayward checks into the game to play right field. And given that they're trying not to have Hayward swing the bat, I would guess that it's not a double switch. Hayward would bat in Hinsky's spot, but we'll let you know as soon as we know. One and two to Sanchez, hitting .277 with a homer and 17 runs driven in. When Barmas was hurt, he got a lot of the playing time. This is a situation, though, Tom, that Freddie Gonzalez was talking about before the ballgame, and he's been talking about really all weekend about trying to find days off for Johnny Venters.
Well, it's tough because he's so good, and anytime you get a lead, I'm sure your inclination is you want to go to him because he's been so good. But yeah, you have to. You can't have him throw 162 games.
Down goes Sanchez. Good fastball from O'Flaherty. Good start for Eric.
Fastball and enter third up a little bit and couldn't catch up to it.
20 strikeouts for O'Flaherty in 21 1/3 innings. Top of the order, Michael Bourne, 0 for 3 tonight.
I think to your point, Joe, that's one of the great things about the last three guys in the back end of the bullpen with O'Flaherty, Venters, and Kimbrel. If any one of those guys needs an off night, Kimbrel needs an off night, you bump Eric to the 8th hole and Johnny to the closer spot, and vice versa. If Johnny needs a night off, then you put Eric out here in the 8th inning, and they're all pretty interchangeable in that regard. But obviously the Braves are strongest when they can go O'Flaherty, Venters, Kimbrel.
Good tonight that Hansen was able to work 7 strong innings. One and two to Bourne. Hansen 7 innings. He only allowed 3 hits, but 2 of them were to Matt Downs, a homer and an RBI double. Walked 1, struck out 10, which tied his season high, just 1 off his career high. Strike 3 call. Bourne's down. 2 strikeouts in a row for O'Flaherty.
Fastball again. Bourne was looking for something, slider or curveball running away from him, and took the fastball right down the middle.
Clint Barmas 0 for 2 with a walk.
I just love how aggressive Eric is. I don't care what situation he's in, what role he's playing. He gets out there and he just gets after that strike zone.
Misses in the dirt, 2-0. Cardinals have taken a 3-1 lead over the Phillies. St. Louis batting in the bottom of the 8th. Florida is at New York tonight. The Mets lead that one 1-0, bottom of the 4th. They had some bad weather in New York earlier in the day. And now 3-0 to Barmas.
Guess at that. So he was attacking the strike zone, and here we are, 3-0.
Barmas takes all the way. To third. Prado bobbles, throws him out, and a 1-2-3 inning for Eric O'Flaherty. Good work. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Braves still up by a run.
operated and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Braves.
Well done, sir.
That was a little better, right?
Oh,
I mean, I only had one that I stumbled on a little bit. It's, you know, kind of like that trade story you were telling earlier. It just didn't come out right.
Clean. Yeah.
You know?
It did tonight, buddy.
Thanks.
Joe Mather will lead off the 8th against Lopez, who stays in the game, and Joe pulls one foul. He's 2 for 3 tonight and had a huge 2-run single his last time up in the 6th inning. Put the Braves on top temporarily. And by the way, got Hayward on deck, so the Braves did in fact double switch, and maybe a chance for Freddie Gonzalez to check out Jason's shoulder.
Okay, find out tonight if he can hit tomorrow.
Mather with a drive to right center, but on the run Bourne, and he closes quickly for the out.
And he closed the gap on that ball in a hurry.
Third hard hit ball of the night for Mather. And listen to the hand for Jason Hayward. He came out of last Tuesday's game in the 8th inning, and he felt some numbness in his right arm and hand. An MRI on Thursday revealed no structural damage, and this is his first at bat since last Tuesday. Showed you some video earlier tonight, if you were with us, of him swinging in the batting cage. He looked like he was swinging freely. Hard hit, one hop shot, handled by Barmas. His throw, though, pulls Wallace off the bag. That ball was smoked.
Yeah, that ball ate him up, and when he finally did realize that he had it, with the way Jason gets down the line, he knew he had to hurry and didn't quite get his feet set, and consequently kind of pull that ball and throw it up the line, and Wallace couldn't stay on the bag.
First error by Barma since he's come back from the disabled list in this, his 14th game. But a good sign from Jason Hayward with that hard hit ball. Martin Prado, the batter, 1 for 4 tonight. Singled in the first to extend his hitting streak to 8 games, but he's hit into 2 double plays tonight. An insurance run headed to the 9th would be awfully nice.
A couple wouldn't be bad.
Craig Kimbrell loosening up for the 9th. This guy Lopez last year, Tom, was in 68 games, and in 67 innings he walked 5 batters, struck out 50.
Well,
that's what you need out of your pen.
Yeah, for all the guys that are struggling throwing strikes coming out of that bullpen, this guy is not one of them.
But again, waylaid by some nerve problem in his elbow at the beginning of this season. He's out of Nicaragua.
Stranded 32 of 33 inherited runners last year. That was the best mark in the majors since 1974. So he's doing a lot of things well, but not getting much help around him.
There's Craig Kimbrell. Looks like he's ready. Pick-off attempt. Telling you, with Quintero, you got to be ready.
You take that secondary lead, and you better be ready to get back to the bag in a hurry when there's no swing.
Off the end of the bat, Martin looked like he was looking for a slider, though. 1-2. Good speed at first. 1 out. 2-2. Nice play at third by Downs. They'll get the lead runner. The relay to first. Can you believe it? Martin Prado's hit into 3 double plays tonight. And a nice play by Downs to get it started. We go to the ninth. Braves up by 1. The Astros tonight 9-3. They only lead by 1 going to the ninth. And time for the AT&T call to the bullpen for Atlanta. And of course in the ninth they go to Craig Kimbrell. And Tommy, this is 3rd straight day.
Yeah, 3rd straight day, and got things back on track really. His 21st appearance on the year, 10 of 13 in save opportunities. Walk to strikeout ratio is off the charts, but since blowing a save earlier this homestand against Washington, his last 3 appearances, he has a win and 2 saves. Got 2 saves in the Philadelphia series, last 3 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts. So I'd say he's getting things back on track a little bit, and I'd like to see him come out here and just get right after these guys.
Part of their order: Pence, Lee, and Wallace. Pence 0 for 3. For the Downs, came up empty. '97 couldn't catch up to that. 0-2.
If you're going to go to the breaking ball, make sure it's down in the dirt. Speed up his bat.
Oh, fastball, the beauty, but just missed low. 98. That's the one I love to watch.
Yeah, that one just looks like it's out of the strike zone as soon as it comes out of his hand, but he throws it so hard it just stays there.
Two and two. McLeod has him shaded a little bit to right. Outfielders deep. Full count. That's Carlos Lee on deck. Like to have him hit with nobody on base. Payoff pitch. Struck him out.
Well, went back to Old Faithful, and again missed his spot a little bit, but velocity makes up for it, and Pence couldn't catch up to it, and good start to the ninth inning.
Lee is 1 for 3. He has singled. He's also reached on an error and scored. Fouled off that 96-mile-an-hour heater. 1-1. Yeah, the fans have been treated to some good close ball games in this series. I mean, in this homestand, and it's carried over tonight from the Phillies series. Took a little off, dropped it in there for a strike. 1-2. Now he can do whatever he wants in this pitch.
He can. I don't know if I'd throw that slider for a strike again. Maybe down in the dirt, but
fastball, and he fouled it back. Brian wanted the breaking ball, but he shook him off. Two and two. That's Brett Wallace. Little soft liner, base hit on a 96 fastball. Carlos Lee just stuck his bat out there. He represents the tying run, and the go-ahead run is at the plate. Wallace is 0 for 3. He has struck out twice. And Lee will be lifted for a pinch runner. That's J.R. Tolles, their backup catcher. Again, this guy coming into the game with the second highest batting average in the majors since April 7th. Swings over the top of a breaking ball. 0-1. He does not run well. If he does happen to hit one on the ground, Braves have a good chance at a double play.
I'm rooting for that.
In the outfield deep. Freeman holding Tolles on at first. Wind still blowing out strong across, actually, from left toward right. Nice stop by McCann, who had ideas of a pickoff attempt but couldn't corral it. 2-1.
That was a nice play by Brian. Didn't have time to get over there all the way with his body to get it in front of it, but nice scoop on the backhand.
Three and one. The pitcher spot is due up next, and that's Brian Bogusevic, who's on deck. 3-1. Strike call on the corner. Full count, one out. Let's see if Brad Mills is bold enough to send Tolles, the backup catcher. Mustaine, swing and a miss, struck him out. Breaking ball down and in. Wallace fans for the third time, 2 out in the ninth.
Pretty gutsy pitch right here from a young guy. 3-2 count. That's a tying run at first base. You obviously don't want to walk him over there, but he's got the confidence to throw that slider. And Wallace swung right through it for, as you said, his third strikeout of the game. So get one more and get out of here.
Bogusevic 4 for 10 as a pinch hitter. Hitting .333 overall, 4 for 12. Strike call. This guy's quite a story, a converted pitcher. Now an outfielder. Late on the fastball, 0-2. This crowd of over 17,000 on their feet. Strike 3 call, game over. Craig Kimbrell strikes out the side again. And the Braves take the first game of this 2-game series, beating the Astros 3-2.
Well, same formula we've been talking about. Good starting pitching, some timely hitting, and great work from the back end of the bullpen again. So another good result for the Braves.
Back to wrap it up right after this.